Have you ever looked at a woman, maybe a friend, a coworker, or that one girl who always seems a little too flirty or emotionally charged, and wondered, is she going through a dry spell? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the subtle, unspoken psychological signs that a woman hasn't had sex in a long time. These are signs that most men never notice, but you're about to see them with crystal clarity. 1. Frequent topics of sex in conversation. Picture this. You're chatting with a lady friend, and suddenly, the conversation takes a steamy turn. She starts bringing up sexual topics more often than a horny teenager. Before you assume she's just a naughty girl, consider the biology. When the brain experiences a prolonged deprivation of dopamine and oxytocin, the hormones of pleasure and bonding, it seeks to compensate through language. It's a projection mechanism. What is most lacking in her physical reality takes up the most space in her mental reality. She isn't always trying to seduce you. Sometimes she's just trying to process her own frustration through verbal communication. 2. Unusual openness about hidden desires. Normally, people keep their fantasies locked away under a triple bolt. However, when a woman hasn't had her desires fulfilled in a while, the social filter begins to erode. If you notice her becoming unusually candid about her darkest fantasies or deepest cravings, it's a sign that the emotional dam is about to burst. Psychologically, talking about these desires becomes a temporary substitute for the real experience. By describing a fantasy, her brain receives tiny microdoses of dopamine, helping her keep the loneliness at bay. Listening with respect is vital here. She is handing you a key to her psyche because she trusts you. The hunger for physical touch, skin hunger. Skin hunger is a real medical and psychological phenomenon. If you notice she finds excuses to brush against your arm, lingers in hugs longer than usual, or leans into you when she laughs, her body is screaming for connection. These aren't accidents. They are biological micro-cravings. The human nervous system requires touch to regulate cortisol, the stress hormone. Without intimacy, the body enters a state of constant high alert, and even minimal physical contact feels like a necessary electric shock to her emotional well-being. 4. High-intensity flirtation. When a woman hasn't received romantic attention in months, her flirting radar recalibrates. She becomes like a heat-seeking missile looking for validation in every interaction. She might lay on the charm extra thick, drop heavy innuendos, or use much more open body language. Often, this isn't a direct invitation to the bedroom, but a search for reassurance. She needs to know her power of attraction is still intact. It's a recharge for an estate of self-esteem that has been depleted by a lack of intimate interaction. 5. Extreme nervousness. Around intimacy topics. Paradoxically, while some talk too much, others shut down completely. If she turns bright red, starts fidgeting with her hair, or changes the subject abruptly when anything sexual comes up, it's because the topic is emotionally loaded. Deprivation creates hypersensitivity. For her, talking about sex is an active reminder of the void she feels, creating painful cognitive dissonance. The contrast between what she desires and what she currently has creates a tension that manifests as almost childlike shyness. 6. Obsession with romantic and erotic media. When real life is a desert, fiction becomes the oasis. If you notice she is consuming marathons of romance novels, high-emotion chick flicks, or erotic series, she is practicing emotional escapism. Psychologically, she is borrowing the emotions of the characters to nourish her own starving heart. It isn't just entertainment, it's a form of self-administered therapy to remember what desire feels like. 7. Self-deprecating humor about her dry spell. Laughter is the best defense mechanism against vulnerability. If she makes jokes about her bed being a museum of loneliness or her vibrator being her only loyal boyfriend, she is using humor to tell the truth without it hurting so much. In dark psychology, we know that behind every joke, there is a hidden intent. By laughing at her situation, she takes control of the narrative before anyone else can judge her. It is a shield of wit hiding a deep need for companionship. 8. The validation vampire. A lack of intimacy often erodes self-image. She might start constantly asking, "Do I look okay in this? Do you think I've gained weight? Do you honestly find me attractive?" This search for validation isn't vanity. It's a search for solid ground. Without the mirror of a partner who desires her, she begins to doubt her own aesthetic value. She doesn't want to be objectified. She wants to be seen and confirmed as a desirable woman in a world that sometimes makes her feel invisible. 9. Unexplained irritability and tension. This is where pure biology kicks in. Sex releases oxytocin and endorphins, which act as natural mood stabilizers. Without these natural drugs, the threshold for stress tolerance drops drastically. If you notice her snapping over minor inconveniences or seeming to be in a constant state of defensive tension, it might just be accumulated frustration. Her body is in a fight or flight mode because it lacks the most potent relaxation mechanism nature provides. 10. Hypersensitive reactions to touch. For a woman in a prolonged dry spell, an accidental graze of the hand can feel like a forest fire. If you notice her pupils dilating, her holding her breath for a split second, or her skin breaking into goosebumps at a minimal contact, it's a sign her nervous system is on standby, awaiting stimulation. This hypersensitivity is an adaptive response of the brain to maximize any opportunity for connection that arises. 11. Increased boldness and risk-taking deprivation creates a craving for novelty. If she suddenly starts making impulsive decisions, like going on dates with total strangers, trying extreme sports, or drastically changing her career path, it's her brain seeking dopamine through other means. When the brain's reward center doesn't get satisfaction through intimacy, it becomes more tolerant of risk in other areas to fill the gap. It is the dopamine hunger phenomenon. 12. Mastery of the sexual innuendo. She becomes an expert in the double entendre. Every everyday sentence has a spicy second reading. This constant use of innuendos is a form of testing. She throws out the bait to see who bites and how others react. It's flirting with plausible deniability. If you respond too aggressively, she can claim you were just imagining things. It's a safe way to play with fire without burning the house down. Yet. 13. Excessive complimenting and people-pleasing. Suddenly, you are the most brilliant, handsome, and talented man she's ever met. She showers you with compliments for the smallest things. Psychologically, this is called social reciprocity. She gives you verbal flowers with the unconscious hope that you will return the gesture, validating her femininity. It's a way to build an emotional bridge where there was only silence before. 14. Social media hyperactivity. Her Instagram or TikTok profile becomes a catalog of her best self. She posts more selfies, shares profound quotes about finding a soulmate, and engages in debates about relationships. This digital activity is a cry for attention in a vacuum. Every like is a micro hit of validation that acts as a patch for physical loneliness. She is constructing a desirable avatar to compensate for a reality that feels empty. 15. Aggression in romantic pursuit. Goodbye to traditional passivity. A woman who has waited too long decides to take the reins. If she is the one proposing dates, texting first, and pushing for plans to happen, it's because she has reached her limit of patience. She has moved from the waiting to be chosen phase to the going to get what I need phase. This determination is powerful, but it also reveals an urgency born from prolonged lack. 16. The emergency, glow up. If she suddenly becomes a gym fanatic, changes her diet radically, and revamps her entire wardrobe, she is in the middle of a reclamation process. She isn't doing it for a specific man. She's doing it to regain control over her body. When you don't feel desired by others, you decide to make yourself so desirable that you're impossible to ignore. It's a way to channel frustrated sexual energy into personal improvement energy. 7. Archaeology of past relationships. If she starts talking obsessively about her exes or the one that got away, her mind is taking a trip down memory lane to remember what it felt like to be connected. In the absence of present intimacy, the brain crawls through memory archives to relive sensations. She analyzes past mistakes not out of nostalgia, but as an attempt to figure out why her present is so solitary. It is an emotional recalibration process. 18. Seeking non-sexual physical comfort. Sometimes what she needs most isn't sex, but security. If she seeks to sit near you, lean on your shoulder, or simply share silence in the same physical space, she is trying to correct her warmth deficit. The lack of sex often comes hand in hand with a lack of emotional support. By seeking this basic comfort, she is trying to soothe her nervous system and reduce the anxiety produced by chronic loneliness. Human being. If you detect these signs, be the man who offers respect and safety first. Because in the game of human psychology, authentic connection always triumphs over simple physical attraction. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Magnet Code for more mind-bending human behavior insights. My name is Nairobi, and this is Dark Psychology. Remember, people's actions whisper the truth long before their words ever do. See you in the next video.